another video. This is Spectre from the One Option chat room, and today I wanted to make a video discussing mindset and trading process and how to become a consistently profitable winner in your head. Of course, we want to become consistently profitable traders and make good money, but I think what we need to learn and discover and accomplish within ourselves as traders before we get to that point is to have a strong foundational core and mindset that we can fall back to so that we protect ourselves from falling into very dangerous downward spirals like revenge trading, trading with 15x size to make back a bad loser or whatever. We need this because trading is not easy. If it were, we'd have a lot more successful traders than we do now. But that's just not the case, right? Lots of traders lose, and a lot of that is because we don't have the emotional fortitude, patience to do the right thing in the right situations, right? It's one thing to have a bunch of great winning trades and you feel good, you're feeling confident, and all of a sudden, here comes one really fucked up bad trade that just makes you go like, oh shit. And those oh shit moments are crucial. And the next time you feel that, I want you to think about this video and say, this is a great time for me to turn this bad loser into a win. And no, I don't mean adding to a shitty losing trade or whatever. I mean taking that loser and coming away from that feeling victorious within your headspace. How the fuck do you do that if you just had a bad trade? Well, there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can slow down, tell yourself, I'm going to be patient. I just had a bad trade, but I'm not going to go out there and start making all these silly trades. Ideally, you've kind of internalized this process within yourself, so you're not just grasping for straws like, holy shit, give me some dumb Hallmark card quote to save me in this moment here, right? You need to develop some sort of belief and trading process and ideals that you can stick with day to day so that in times where you're feeling distressed after a bad loss or just whatever it is, you have something to fall back to. Because having that mindset to fall back to is going to save your ass from making horrible trading decisions. So, you have a bad losing trade, what do? Well, if you can go the rest of the day staying patient, waiting for your opportunities to make a good trade, and you didn't revenge trade, great. Celebrate that. Tell yourself after the trading day, holy shit, I had a bad trade, but guess what? I didn't go out and just start opening dumb trades left and right to make up this bad loss. In fact, I didn't do that. I didn't make another trade, and my profit factor ended up being 0.001 for the day, but I didn't blow up my account. So, okay, yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable initially, but the more you can just trust yourself and your process, you're not going to fall into horrible, dangerous downward spirals like that. And in order to not fall into those dangerous downward spirals, you need exposure to those moments of horrible losing trades that just eat away your soul or whatever and feel agonizing, because guess what? You're going to have to get used to that and learn from that. If you want to become a consistently profitable trader, I imagine you have to learn to lose well. You're not going to win every trade. Even Dave Wise has losing trades, even though sometimes I question, holy shit, who is this owl in this chat room who keeps winning every single goddamn trade he makes? Even he has losing trades sometimes. I will see him post a trade in the chat room where he's like, exit Dollar General short for a loss. And I'm like, wow, he's human. I'm sure Dave, obviously he is a phenomenal trader, but he obviously has the mindset and all of that figured out for himself. So anyways, let's get back to the point. We need to learn how to take these losing moments where we feel despair or we feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to get this. Turn that on its head and celebrate something. Like if you just had a losing trade, there's something to learn from that. if you can find something to learn from, then guess what? That losing trade is actually great because now you have something that you can carry forward with you going into the future. That's really big, and you should celebrate that. It's going to feel uncomfortable to do that, but guess what? Most traders don't do that. They just think, oh, wow, look at this, another losing trade. You know what? This, I don't care anymore. I'm 15x sizing this next trade on Tesla, and guess what? They blow up their accounts and then they walk away. But you're not going to do that. You're going to find a way to make those losing moments, take that as a catalyst to propel yourself to grow even more as a trader. Okay, so let's look at an example for me. One of my most recent losing trades. This was on Friday, so whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and drill into the market recently, right? Here's the daily chart. You can see over the past few months, put in a lower high, double top. Okay, had some pretty decent selling pressure in the last few weeks. Came down, found support above the 200 day moving average, had a little bit of a bounce, got up to the 100-day moving average, and now we've had some pretty heavy and volatile selling pressure over the last couple of days. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is Friday's price action, right? We had a pretty nice round of heavy selling early to the mid part of the day, and then the last couple of hours or so, we just had this sort of violent compression where we're just going all over the place, and it's not really easy to figure out what's going on here. And if we look back the previous day, right, you can also see that's some pretty heavy selling, right? We had this little trading channel here early in the day. We were all sitting in the chat like, what the hell is this garbage price action? And then right around here, this is where Harry was doing his live stream in the One Option chat room. And I don't know, he talked about some shit like staying at a Holiday Inn and he just knows that this market's about to drop. I don't know, whatever it is that he was talking about. He just said, get ready for a market drop. And boom, see you later. That was some nasty selling, okay? So end of the day, we got a little bit of a bounce. We're all looking for the next leg lower and we didn't get that. So whatever. We come into the next day, we have nice gap up, right? We're still in the prior day's range. Okay, so we're starting off in this bullish cross. So I'm thinking, I'm not going to start running in and making dumb trades. I'm going to wait to see what the market tells me. So get a little bit of a move up. We see tails and wicks, some mixed candles. Okay, again, we get this bearish 1OP cross and then nice long red candle. We have a tail below, but we get another one. We can see another long tail and then boom, we get this long red key bar. Okay, then we kind of compress down here. We get this long green candle, completely engulfed, next red candle, see you later, and we start going down. So overall, for the first 2/3 of the day or so, we had some decent selling pressure. It wasn't super strong, right? Because we didn't have a bunch of stacked red key bars going down all the way. We had pauses, we had some retracement, but overall it was decently bearish day. So I was looking for bearish trades to make. And I happened to come across JD, which if you look at this stock, this is some pretty nasty, ugly selling pressure from this high up in August or so down to where we currently are in mid-October. So anyways, why did I pick this trade? Well, I really like the fact that we have an obvious bias to the downside. Okay, we had a little bit of a pullback here. And then boom, long red candle, just completely engulfing these last several daily candles. And so I thought, hey, I like this setup a lot. So I went into the 5-minute chart and I was looking at the price action. And by the way, if you're like, what is this gray line here? This is SPY overlay, just so I can show a couple of points that I wanted to make. So I got short on JD. Can't really remember. I think it was about like 35 minutes after the open. So right around here, I want to say. I felt confident in this bearish 1OP cross. I felt confident knowing that LRSI is coming down below 0.8. The volume is picking up on this little pullback. So yeah, I'm going to go on this trade. But guess what? Take a look at this, right? Yes, the stock is relatively weak. It has heavy volume. We see a nasty breakdown. But we're not seeing really violent candles moving down. In fact, we had this long green candle, right? Opened up. Yes, we didn't get to the halfway point of the gap, but we know that there's some buying, and we can tell because early in the day, right, we had long green candle. Okay, we had a nice long tail, a little bit of a wick above the body, just a bunch of mixed overlapping candles. So technically, it wasn't necessarily the strongest intraday price action. I did really like the daily chart. Again, right, you can look at this. It's a pretty nasty breakdown, but I don't know. I think just in the moment when I was seeing this price action, I was just like, you know what? I like JD. I just like what the chart's telling me. I'm going to go in on the trade. And obviously, in hindsight, it didn't end up being the greatest trade because you can see it didn't really do a whole lot during the day. In fact, it actually picked up some relative strength right after I entered. And the reason why I entered here was because I was telling myself, like, well, SPY is rolling over. Look at this. We're going to have this nice bear flag forming. But we just never really got that big move down. And by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and remove this SPY overlay. And again, we know that it wasn't necessarily the strongest, or weakest stock because we weren't seeing that consistent stacked price action to the downside. We were having mixed candles here, right? So I got short here or so, and then I think I added right around here or so to the trade, right? And this is at about 10:25, and we were kind of compressing down here. So we're seeing some decent selling pressure, but again, I think I was jumping the gun here because this price action is really not screaming add, add, add. In fact, right, we can see we're gaining relative strength. So wasn't really the best add-on to my trade, okay? Then the market starts making the next move lower. And what does the stock do? The stock just decides to start pulling back to VWAP, and it kind of chops around here, okay? Then eventually the market selling does kind of put some weakness back into this stock. And well, we make a new low here, but guess what? This isn't that much lower than this low right here. In fact, this is what we call a marginal new low, where sellers were able to get it below the previous low, but we didn't get a nice big lower move to the downside. Again, we had this sort of mixed, choppy price action here. So if I were purely looking at this from a technical standpoint, I should have realized at this point, one, this isn't the weakest stock. In fact, it's pretty strong here. And two, we have a marginal new low when SPY has clearly been making nice lower lows throughout the day. Maybe a good point to exit this trade. Of course, I could justify perhaps swinging it, but then I started looking at the daily chart and was like, I don't know. I mean, this is a Chinese stock. It's very gappy and just, I don't know. Just was like, I don't really know how I feel about this. And so I kind of just sat with the trade for the rest of the day. And then obviously this thing just kind of went up and chopped above VWAP. And then I ended up exiting for a loss. And guess what? I added to this winning trade. And while, yes, it's good to add 2 winning trades, this is definitely not the price action we want with regards to adding to a winning trade, right? This is not worthy of doing so. So I was kind of frustrated with myself here, thinking, damn, like, I had some other really good trades, but this is just like not the best trade. And by the end of the day, I was kind of frustrated because I was like, well, fuck, like what happened, right? Like, why did this end up being just kind of a so-so day for me? And I was frustrated, like, damn, we're going into the weekend, like, I want to trade right now. And then I started realizing, okay, I'm getting a little caught up here, and what do I do? Well, then I started telling myself at the end of the day, the market is going to come back on Monday. The market is going to do what it's going to do, and I'm going to stick with my process. My process tells me I know the good setups that will give me good opportunities to make good trades. I know that the market will eventually give me good opportunities to get a good entry point. And I'm patient. I'm going to wait for that. I'm not going to start making silly trades to make back this loss. No, I am going to wait. And when I found myself thinking that, I was like, hey, like, that's awesome. I need to celebrate this because guess what? when I come back to JD and I look at it and I'm reviewing it on Saturday, I'm like, well, yeah, I can like really see that this was just not a good trade to be adding to, because we see this mixed price action, right? And so guess what? I just had this loser, but it kind of feels like a winner to me because now I know that, well, I really need to be paying attention, obviously, to the market, but to the individual stock price action as well. I need to watch out for things like marginal new lows and really just remember that this kind of mixed price action is not what we want with this trade. And I feel like I've gotten something out of this that I can carry forward with me. Um, Anyways, so that's a little bit about just what I've been thinking about recently. Um, I wanted to show off, if it's not really showing off at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But I wanted to show what I was going through last year in my trading when I was trading for just a few months. And back then, besides just, still being very new to trading and not having even just a little bit of experience I have now, I absolutely did not have any kind of trading process that I could fall back to in moments where I felt, vulnerable, perhaps mentally, or just like, I didn't have the mindset or process or anything to fall back to. And so, guess what? I was very susceptible to the downward spiral of making horrible trades to make back what I just lost on the day or whatever. Um, and I actually have this little PowerPoint doc where I throw in, screenshots of stuff I like in the chat room that is posted by, someone that I'm like, hey, like I really like what they're saying here. I want to remember this. Or my own personal great trades or bad trades, just kind of stuff that I can come back to and look at in my journey. And yeah, I found some stuff that I added in here. This must have been like late last year, earlier this year, where I just made horrible, horrible trades. Like, look at this day. This is November 8th, 2022. Like, holy shit. Four, like, this is not a good day at all. Like, this is a lot of trading here. I was most likely revenge trading. I'm sure, like, look at this mistakes. Large position size, added too aggressively, end of day FOMO trade. Uh, yeah, I would like to say now that I would not be doing this because back then I did not have any sort of something in my foundational belief and core in my trading that I could fall back to. To me, it was just like, oh shit, like I just had all these bad trades. I got to make up. I got to make up for it, and start firing off trades on everything that wiggles and jiggles. And you can just see these horrible, horrible losers. Uh, Bottom fishing, anticipation, not respecting stop. Let's keep going through some of these. I don't even know why I'm showing you guys this stuff, but I just wanted to show you that, I definitely have grown a lot over the last year, especially this year. Let's take a look. Yep, this is me probably adding to a losing trade. Too lazy to zoom in on that, but yeah, just not some good particular trading days. Um, yeah, so anyways, that's a little bit about my personal growth, I guess. Take from this video, it is to remember that you are not going to be a perfect trader. You can't win everything. You're going to have losers. And what is really important is what you can take and learn from your losers that you can carry forward with you into the future to help make yourself into a better trader, whether that is something technical or mindset related or perhaps both. And use that to develop some sort of trading philosophy and mindset that you can build, that you can bring with you day in and day out, no matter what the trading day is like. If you win every trade or you lose every trade, if you can stick to those beliefs that you've developed and fall back to it and stick with your process, stay patient, wait for the right opportunities to come, then you're not going to melt down. You're not going to blow up your account. You're not going to start revenge trading. If you can just stick with that process, you're going to make a lot of gains, because at that point, if you can truly just accept the losses as they come and go, you'll find yourself just being able to flow in and out of trades as you go throughout your journey. And that is something that I have been able to kind of discover for myself. And yes, I still have trading days where, I have I don't know, I have a lot of losers, or like more losers than winners, and my profit factor is below like 1 or whatever it is, and I feel a little upset. But I trust myself that tomorrow's a new day. Live to fight another day. I have my beliefs and I know what works well for me. I will come into the trading day tomorrow. I will be patient. I will wait for those right opportunities to enter trades. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. I will have something to learn from that. And the next trading day, I will have learned something new, and I'm going to stick with my process. I'm going to be patient and wait. Um, and that's something that makes me feel comfortable in the moments of like, damn, this could have been a better trading day or whatever. And I remind myself too that, well, I'm still only about 14 months in or so. Harry and others say it takes at least 2 years to do this, and they're damn right. Like, fuck, it's not easy. But I know that every day that goes by, where I come back to my trading and the trades that I've taken, I come back and I study the wiki, watch more Pete's videos. I know that over time I'm doing myself a favor. And I'm also realizing that, yeah, like trading is something I really do enjoy. Like, I would not be getting up at 6:30 a.m. every single morning when the market opens up. I'm in Pacific time zone, by the way. I would not be doing that if I didn't enjoy doing this. I really like doing this, and I really never would have thought to myself a year ago that I would still be doing this, let alone really finding myself enjoying just the process of trading and the trading community on the Real Day Trading Reddit and the One Option chat room. Like, it's just something I look forward to, coming in and just spending time learning something new about the market, learning something new about myself, trading with the other traders in the chat room. It's just a great time. And it's just something that I remind myself when I can feel a little bit frustrated, like, damn, like, I feel like I'm like taking a step back or whatever. I just remind myself that that's just going to be a part of my growth as a trader. And makes me feel better in the moment. And I tell myself, tomorrow's a new day. Let's fucking do it. I know it works well for me, so I'm going to stick to my plan. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great, or is having a great weekend, and I will see you all later.